Hey, I'm Charles Jenkins. Team and friends call me Dr. Chuck, and I am excited to talk to you about reinvention, the ability to turn into something else. I've done that over and over again, and I know you have done that and seen that. So let me talk you through several stages of reinvention. Here's number one, write it down. Contemplation. Contemplation. Reinvention does not begin on the outside. Reinvention begins on the inside. What am I to be thinking about? I want to think about where have I been, where am I, and where am I supposed to go? And this is going to take some private, personal homework, right? Pen, paper, computer, iPad, whatever you use. But you kind of want to do a data dump. You know, where am I and where am I supposed to be? Where was I? You know, just kind of want to peek back, go in reverse a little bit. We only go in reverse to go forward. Where am I? And then what's been consuming your mind? What are the things that have been permeating on your heart? What are you seeing? What are your visions look like, or what's your vision looking like? Vision speaks to destination, goal, aim, objective. What's permeating on your heart? What's happening on the inside of you that you can't escape? In my the famous singer Willie Nelson, it's always on my mind. I'm paraphrasing it, but think about, contemplate. You know, what's the big problem you want to solve that you can't get away from? What are the questions, not just audibly, but actually, questions that you keep hearing audibly that you actually feel like you may be called to answer, not just with words but with actions. Contemplate. Think about your time. Have you accomplished everything you're supposed to accomplish where you are? Is there more to accomplish? Are you to accomplish something else in addition? Do you see a gap that you're supposed to fill? You've got an idea, you've got a concept, you've got a mission, you have a solve, right, for something that needs to be addressed. Contemplate. And then not just from a theoretical, practical standpoint when you're thinking about reinvention, but you know, you also want to think about your livelihood, you know, from a resource standpoint. You know, if you walk away from where you are, can you be sustained? Or if you're going to add to what you're already doing, how can you make sure balls aren't dropped? Do you need more team? What is the strategy to ensure that you or your family sustained as you step out on faith? Where do you need to cut back? You know, do you need to possibly take something else on to be able to accomplish whatever you're trying to get done? There are lots of things to think about. I just want to give you a framework of how you should be thinking. So number one, when you think about reinvention, it begins with contemplation. You gotta think through. You're not gonna capture everything, but as much as you can to protect you while you try to make progress at the same time. Here's the other one. Evaluation. Evaluation. I got some notes here to make sure I hit everything I want to hit. No one builds a house without counting the cost. There's a beautiful passage that speaks to that. So you want to evaluate. You know, you want to think through, you know, and I mentioned this, but I want to reiterate it. What do you stand to gain? You want to start there. What do you stand to gain? And that could speak to not just what you get, but what others get, because you're moving into what you're supposed to move in, right? Reinvention is not just about good makeup, it's about good mission, right? So what do you stand to gain? What do you stand to lose? And it's not just what, but it's also who. because whenever you shed and change, there's always some degree of collateral damage, right? Some people won't understand. That doesn't make sense. And so you got to have in your head, from an anticipatory kind of way, what do you stand to gain? Who do you stand to gain? What do you stand to lose? Who do you stand to lose? And then what are your potential timelines, goal lines, finish lines? Because as you reinvent and as you turn into something else in a new season, you want to be clear about what you're doing, your what. You want to be clear about your why. Why are you doing this, right? And work through what are the actual benefits and who are the beneficiaries. And then you can work through the how. You also want to think through, potential challenges, potential opportunities, potential problems, potential hurdles. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared so you can jump those hurdles. You also don't want to reinvent blindly, right? I'm ta-da without processing properly. As I said, you can't know everything, right? But you can be strategic as you possibly can, and move in a calculated manner and not haphazardly. So, number one, contemplation. Number two, evaluation. So contemplation, evaluation. And then number three, education. Knowing leads to growing, and learning can lead to earning. And it can be, earning can speak to results, it can speak to fiscally, financially, it can speak to impact. Growing can speak to who I become as a person and who I can help others become as people, right? And so one of the most important things that I've learned over time is when you are stepping into something new, man, you want to master that lane, right? And so new opportunities lead to new learning curves, new opportunities to gain, to glean, and to get what you need to be a subject matter expert. I believe in being a subject matter expert. If you're going to do it, you gotta know it, right? And not just expecting those around you to know it, or team members, or employees, or independent contractors. Or I believe in making sure that I learn whatever I intend to succeed in. And so number three is education, right? Many times new seasons call for new skill sets, right? So there may be a need to take a class, right? Sit with people who are subject matter experts and consummate professionals. That could mean phone calls. That could mean, coffees with people, dinners. And sometimes what I found, when you're looking to learn and you're reaching out for busy people, I often create the opportunity for myself by saying, I just need 5 minutes to get the poignant answers that you need to stockpile the data to empower your info. And then there could be, whether conventional learning tools, there could be unconventional, right? There may be a documentary you need to watch, maybe a master class you need to watch, a movie you need to watch. There's formal coursework and modulars and, short classes you could take at universities or online. But at the end of the day, the idea is retooling, right? And getting the information I need for now to be able to be functionally effective and successful. Be sure to like this video, share it, and follow me for more inspiration and more empowerment.